I have some special treats today. Hopefully the police will enjoy them. Oh, Grandma's conducting an investigation.
Okay, great.
There's some illegal activity going on in there, and Grandma wants part of it.
Come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, well, your behavior right now, filming inside of a police vehicle, is suspicious, so I'm going to ask for your ID now. Let me see your ID.
How about hell no?
If you do not identify yourself, I will place you under arrest.
All right, then arrest me, because that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Put this down.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer. Today's video comes to us from a YouTube channel called Flex Your Freedoms, and it depicts a First Amendment auditor who utilizes a very unique and, in my opinion, brilliant style of auditing that I think really needs to be highlighted. A couple years ago, the owner of the channel was arrested by the Waterloo, Iowa Police Department for a bogus interference charge due to him filming too close to a tactical, tough guy SWAT officer who just happened to be so insecure that he felt threatened being in such close proximity to unbridled freedom. So his answer was to arrest Flex for a non-crime. Let's check that out.
It's been 2 years since the tyrants in Waterloo, Iowa arrested me. This all started after I was driving back to my house, fresh from auditing. I was driving on my block and I had noticed a bunch of undercover police and pickup trucks right behind me. I had no idea what was in store for me. There was around 15 cops at my neighbor's house, armed to the teeth, and they had my neighbor surrounded. Confused as why this was happening, I see these officers handcuffing my neighbor. He kept asking why they were arresting him, and none of the officers answered. He resisted the cuffs, and they threw him to the ground, tased him multiple times, and kneeled on his neck and rubbed his head on the concrete.
I hope it's all on video, bro. I hope it's all on video. This is crazy.
Go to the side.
You need to get those two phones out.
He's telling him he has to leave.
Make sure you send that video to my father.
I got it. Just come see me.
Come on, man.
Sir, off the property.
I'm not on. This is public. Don't be a punk.
Noticing that I was recording this very rough arrest, one of the tyrants yelled at me to get off the property. I never once went on the property, mind you. Now we meet one of the biggest oath-breaking tyrants in all of Iowa, Lieutenant Michael Gersh.
Is there a witness to all this?
No, I'm not. I don't answer questions.
Oh, okay, then go.
He doesn't like that I was documenting this rough arrest and tries getting me away so I cannot record it any longer. I tell him off, as the arrest was well over 50 feet away and I was on public property the whole time. I don't take corrupt, unlawful demands lightly, and Lieutenant Michelle Gersh was so ego-filled and offended that I made fun of his pimple on his chin.
Cool pimple you got on your face.
Hey, there's a search warrant being executed on this property. You need to leave the property.
This is public. Don't touch me.
There's
What the
a
f are you
warrant
doing?
for this property.
He turned around and started shoving me away into an active roadway.
Name and badge number now.
Lieutenant Gersh, G3716.
You don't know who you're with, boy.
Obviously not. There's a search warrant being executed here, so you don't have the right to be here.
I'm in public. You pushed me in the street, you dumb. You pushed me there, dumb.
Go to your house.
No.
Okay.
Ah.
There's a search warrant being executed.
Why are you touching me? What the
Go.
Get
Off
are
the
you
property
doing?
and get out of the
What are you
street.
doing, you dumb? I
over
can't
there.
videotape.
Right here.
This is my property. Don't
Right.
touch me.
This is your property.
Don't touch me.
Back up.
You pushed me in the road.
I'm not gonna tell you
recording.
again.
I can't
Good.
record
I'm recording
this.
too.
Now, I don't like talking about this, but I think it's needed. I'm a 100% disabled combat veteran with PTSD alone. When another man puts hands on me for no reason, I get quite mad, as would anybody else. As you notice, I was the furthest away compared to the many others watching this. I noticed a group of officers standing inside the fence, doing nothing but talking with each other. And you could tell that they hated my free speech and wanted to find a way to arrest me. That's when we meet this tyrant, Sergeant Greg Erie. Greg Erie was very upset with my free speech, saying that I can't swear. He had enough and decided to solicit a disorderly conduct charge and asked everyone around me if my speech offended them. What do you want?
You can stand out here and talk.
I can talk all I want. First Amendment right.
Okay? You
Oh, I can't swear?
Are you ladies offended by his...
Everyone said they weren't offended and my speech was just fine. So I said as many cuss words as possible to his face, and these famous words were said. Yeah, you're a tyrant. Suck my...
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, arrest me, huh? Disorderly.
So obviously this arrest is chicken shit. Any police officer whose ego is so fragile that they need to arrest somebody under these circumstances is a direct contributor to what's wrong with law enforcement and the relationship with the public in this country. But I digress. Regardless of whether I agree with the arrest, it's important to note that Iowa law is not altogether friendly to auditors. There was a 2014 case called State versus Norman, in which a defendant named Justin Norman was arrested under the same statute that Flex was arrested under for interference with official acts. The appellate court affirmed the trial court's conviction of Norman, citing the officer's testimony at trial that Norman stood in very close proximity to them with a camera while they were conducting a traffic stop, and he ignored repeated commands to back up, thus hindering their ability to investigate the traffic violation. Now, the court doesn't explain in any of the analysis how far the proximity was that Norman was observing the traffic stop or recording, but suffice it to say that Iowa courts have set a precedent that if you get too close to law enforcement on a traffic stop while you're recording, they don't care too much about the First Amendment. Iowa's Code 719.1 provides as follows. Interference with official acts. A person commits interference with official acts when the person knowingly resists or obstructs anyone known by the person to be a peace officer, jailer, emergency medical care provider, medical examiner, or firefighter, whether paid or volunteer, or a person performing bailiff duties in the performance of any act which is within the scope of the lawful duty or authority of that officer, jailer, emergency medical care provider, medical examiner, or firefighter, whether paid or volunteer, or a person performing bailiff duties, or who knowingly resists or obstructs the service or execution by any authorized person of any civil or criminal process or order of any court. While it's likely the legislative intent of this law was not designed for chicken shit officers to use it like Tactical Timmy did as it relates to Flex, whenever a law is this broad, it is by nature open to subjective interpretation, and that serves as an opportunity for abuse by an insecure person in the position of authority. But he can appeal, right? I mean, surely the law allows for a person to appeal this kind of decision. Well, the worst of Iowa's law is that when a person is convicted of misdemeanors or offenses in Iowa that are not subject to indictment, the court sitting over the trial has discretion over whether the defendant can have a direct appeal. I know that sounds crazy, but the law does in fact say in Iowa that the court that just convicted the defendant has discretion over whether or not that person can appeal to a higher court if the crime that is alleged or convicted is not subject to indictment. So it's just like a misdemeanor crime. Now, Flex did appeal, and of course the trial court denied his appeal, so his only recourse was to apply for cert to the Supreme Court of Iowa, who declined to review his case. So when I stumbled upon his channel, the latest video that I watched indicated that he was at the time incarcerated for his Waterloo arrest, and that made me want to highlight his audits on my channel. Now, I had seen Flex's Waterloo arrest a while back, and I knew it was a bogus charge, but I didn't realize that Grandma was the same auditor as the Waterloo arrest auditor until I started to explore the channel after I saw my first Grandma video. Now, unfortunately for Iowa law enforcement, they may have won the battle at Waterloo, but they will lose the wars that follow because Flex is smarter than they are. And they created a monster that they now have to call Grandma. So what Flex does is he puts on a wig, he smears lipstick on his face in an obnoxious way, and he throws a set of pearls around his neck, carries around a bag of props, and shows up to public places to audit. Of course, people see him dressed like this and acting like this, and they get uncomfortable, and that's when the fun begins. So I've queued up one of his most recent videos, but I've only included enough of his greatest hits to pique your curiosity. Y'all need to go over to his channel and watch his videos in their entirety and give him credit for sharing them. For auditors out there looking to be effective but doing it in a more cerebral way, this parody style of auditing is a great way to flex your First Amendment rights while controlling the narrative with cops. Let's check it out.
Grandma has some special treats today. Hopefully the police will enjoy them. Grandma found a baggie with a little Coke in it and some Mary Janes. She don't know what to do with it, but it's all right.
Do you have that?
Oh, certainly, sir. It's in here.
What's in there?
The Mary Jane and a baggie with a little Coke in it. Would you like it?
What's your name?
Oh, Grandma.
What's your real name?
Oh, I just go by Grandma.
You do?
Yes, sir.
Can I search this?
Yes, sir. Grandma's just ready to have some fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why don't you stay there?
he got the Coke. He got the baggie with the little Coke in it. He found the Mary Janes. There's a couple Mary Janes because I don't know how much you guys normally use. Oh,
There you go. You have a good
well,
night.
thank you. You as well. Oh, Grandma's getting moistened right up for this interaction.
What can I do for you?
Oh, Grandma's conducting an investigation.
Okay, great.
There's some illegal activity going on in there, and Grandma wants part of it.
Come on in.
Oh, thank you.
Your left?
How we doing?
And if those are on, please turn them off. What you're doing is highly illegal.
Oh, my
You're
word.
being videoed illegally.
They're trying to entrap Grandma. This is a naughty Grandma right here.
The way you're dressed, it is a little unusual to see in the middle of the day.
I'm dressing the same as her. She's an elderly Grandma as well.
I don't think I'm dressed quite like you, but
Well,
that's your
Grandma,
opinion.
well,
You're entitled. You're
well,
entitled.
Grandma does have better looks, let's be honest.
What can I guess I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's breast enlargement pills.
Okay.
So I'm trying to grow my breasts so I can lactate, and that way you could produce milk, that way you could feed the babies. So you're not interested in the Mary Jane deal. I do have a baggie if you would be interested in a
I'm not
trade.
interested in that at all. You got some on you?
Well, I just might, sir. I do. I'll admit it. And I got a baggie with a little Coke in it.
Never used either one, so I wouldn't.
What the hell?
No, lead a pretty boring life.
Grandma doesn't believe that on the Coke part, sir.
Video all of this.
Oh, yes.
What do you do with your videos?
Oh, we do have a gentleman in Baghdad that does like paying us a certain fee.
Who else are you affiliated with? Most news outlets are affiliated with other people.
Oh, George Soros. Huh?
Where's Grandma?
Well, there's a grandma right there, are you not, young
What are you
lady?
talking about?
Oh, I'm Grandma,
Oh,
sir.
you're Grandma.
Yes, I've given birth.
What is your name, Grandma?
Oh, Grandma. Or grandmother.
No, Grandma, usually even I as a grandma have a real name.
No, not well, that you're an imposter. I'm at the prime age at 69 ripe. You're past the prime, sir. So technically, I would be in charge of all the elderly because I'm at that mark. Butt Crack News Network, man, BCNN. He knows. He knows we're the leader in real news. Hey, stop laughing. This is a serious matter.
It is a serious matter.
But Grandma has to do what's best for Grandma, and that's reporting real
Before you
news.
decided you were going to become a grandma, there's the evidence. What were you before?
Oh, I was a prostitute, sir.
Come on in.
My word! Oh, there's a police. Take that picture. He's taking Polaroids.
What's up?
We're having a meeting, sir. Trying to get
These
some
two
business.
gentlemen seem to be harassing me.
Okay.
Walking around our property, taking pictures, doing more of that, videotaping the whole time.
If you filmed anything here without their permission to film, you can't have it.
They haven't.
We've seen them before.
Okay.
What the hell? Now that is a spy.
Well, I hadn't, so,
Yes.
yeah.
We're the best in business, sir.
I can tell. I can tell.
We're the best.
And if you have filmed here without their permission, they're asking you to delete that
I never
information at
asked
this
for
time.
permission.
That's entrapment.
That's entrapment. That's illegal. That's a lawsuit.
We have to protect ourselves.
He knows all about stupid Stanley. You should ask him.
So you-
He's a very famous
They went
guy.
after one of the county officers.
Really?
All right, darling. Grandma's just gonna have some looking around then.
Do you need any help or anything?
Grandma would love your help, darling. Right? Grandma's gonna do some snooping. So,
I'll just don't.
Grandma's an investigator.
Okay. Just
See, I
don't
got
touch
my
any-
badge on today. So,
Don't touch any of the vehicles, okay?
oh, Grandma has some slippery hands.
You know
So,
you can get in trouble if you go.
oh, Grandma can
Free to-
outrun anybody though. So it's a tough one. Grandma trained Usain Bolt back in the 1980s.
Okay. I'm being serious.
Oh, serious Sammy. Them old people deserve death.
No, hey, don't film inside the vehicles.
Grandma's filming.
Don't do it
Why not, darling?
because there's personal property in there and there's sensitive items in there.
But Grandma's in public.
But don't film inside of the vehicles, okay?
But Grandma's in public.
You can't film other people inside of other people's cars, okay?
Oh, I can't film inside other people's.
Personal property. I'm telling you not to do it though, okay?
Is that an order?
Yes.
So you'll arrest me if I do? Are you mean to elderly folks?
One, sir, you're not elderly, okay?
That's discrimination.
Well, then fine.
I don't approve of this, sir.
Okay, well, your behavior right now filming inside of a police vehicle is suspicious, so I'm going to ask for your ID now.
Oh, did I commit a crime?
You're being suspicious, so I'm
What
now,
crime is that? Is that a
now-
misdemeanor
I
or
am now
felony?
Investigating.
For what crime? Suspicious and it's not a crime.
No, because I haven't determined yet if you've committed a crime. But
Well, you have to before you come and ask for ID.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, what's the Fourth Amendment, silly?
I do not need...
No, the Fourth
I
Amendment?
do not need permission. to
Yes, you
ask
do.
to
We have a
identify yourself.
constitution.
I don't need permission from you especially. You have not committed a crime yet, but
There
right
we
now
go. There's the
I
answer.
am suspect.
So no, I'm suspect of you.
I have probable cause.
You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion before you can have probable cause.
Given your demeanor and given you...
Oh, so it's illegal to be a grandma now? Grandma doesn't back down from shit.
I don't care if you back down or not.
Grandma's
You
a
look
stud.
ridiculous is what you look.
You look like a nerd. That's what you look like.
Okay.
What you gonna do, nerdy nerdleton? Nothing? Just because you don't like what I'm doing doesn't mean it's wrong. You called me, or what did you say about me?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I look ridiculous. He initiated it. And you called me weird. I'm a grandma.
You can dress whatever way
Exactly, Stanley. You look like a dumb nerd.
Well, that's kind
See?
of rude.
Well, he's dressing like a nerd.
If you keep calling him that,
I think
you could probably
I
see
don't
some
know.
sort of
I'm-
harassment. Okay, let's just stop. Let's stop. Let's not
Yeah,
do that.
Stanley, stop.
No, I'm talking to you.
No,
We-
that's my First Amendment right.
No, you
I could
can't-
call him a nerd,
You
nerd.
cannot call somebody
Imagine the
whatever you
jury.
want.
Let's see. Oh, did that grandma call you a nerd? Oh,
you're
throw
not a
grandma
grandma,
in a
you're-
cell.
Listen, let me see your ID.
How about hell no?
If you do not identify yourself, I will place you under arrest.
All right, then arrest me, because that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Put this down.
Well, he needs to learn the Fourth Amendment because he doesn't know it. Silly Stanley.
So I just want to ask again, is there anything that we can help you with at all?
Tell Stanley to leave grandma alone and I'm out of here.
Tell me to leave.
Yeah, tell him.
I sure freaking do.
Yeah, walk of shame, Stanley. Get out of here, Stanley.
I just want to...
You're a son of a gun, Stanley. You can't violate my rights. I'm grandma. I do what I need to do. Grandma got some investigating to do as well.
Can I help you?
Oh, no, I'm just holding the door for you, darling. You look really cute.
All right. If you're not gonna have any business here, you need to go.
Oh, I'm gonna have business then. You think you can mess with grandma? You gotta think again. Can grandma help you, darling? Didn't think so. He's on the cellular device. He was a naughty boy trying to tell grandma what to do. Hey, grandma, you need to leave. And then he definitely looks like he needs some Vagisil. He has that itch. I've seen him itch. Got some of this for you, darling. If you want it, just ask grandma. It's just some local Vagisil. She got it at the Dollar General. I seen you itching. I don't know if you need it, darling. Oh, there he is. Maybe he wants to take grandma up on the offer. You want that Vagisil, sir? Grandma has it. Butt hurt balm as well, darling. Oh, maybe not. I don't think he wants it. Next time, don't boss grandma around, young man. Don't boss grandma. Keep walking, nerd. Grandma's a WW2 war veteran. Grandma fought them Nazis and scalped them. You think that little nerd's gonna scare grandma off? Hell no. Oh, did you? Oh, did you fart? I excuse you. I'm sorry.
So a lot of people don't know how law enforcement's response to calls work. So when people call in suspicious activities, most police departments do have a policy in place that requires their officers to respond. The Supreme Court has held multiple times over multiple cases that law enforcement has no duty to protect the public. But the problem is that law enforcement agencies rely on the public for funding. And the heads of these agencies don't want to sit in city council meetings and county commission meetings and explain how the tax dollars are spent while simultaneously asking for more budget money without at least pretending to the stakeholders that their function is to serve the public. So when the public calls, they go. Now, this guy is so good at what he does, by presenting himself so eccentrically, he forces them to do what they should do with BS 911 calls, which is to show up, make an appearance, let the public know you're out there, keep from getting sued if it's a legit call, and then once their suspicions are dispelled, go clear the call and go on with their day. The thing that I think is absolutely brilliant about his auditing style is that he actually makes the cops so uncomfortable that they're trying to get away from him as fast as possible. Ordinarily, the police will use the pretext of a call for service as an excuse to take out their tiny little bit of hell on the world through the conduit of messing with auditors. And let's face it, there are a lot of auditors out there who use such an abrasive style of exercising their rights that they would not be sympathetic plaintiffs were they to sue for violation of rights. You have to remember that juries are full of people, regular human beings that have been tasked with disrupting their lives to hear the arguments in your lawsuit. So whether most of us YouTube junkies realize it or not, the vast majority of the public not only supports law enforcement, but their support extends to such a degree that they assume that if the cops are messing with someone, they have a good reason to do it. Now, you and I may know that that's not true, but that's the way it is. And auditing and a decade of pretty bad police encounters being publicized have caused a significant erosion in the benefit of the doubt as it relates to law enforcement. But the deck is still definitely stacked against any citizen versus the police in both the court of law and the court of public opinion. So if you're an auditor out there and you're hoping to secure a verdict from people on a jury in America, you should do whatever you can to try and make yourself into a sympathetic plaintiff. Juries don't want to reward what they see as obnoxious behavior unless they can find some redeeming quality about the plaintiff. Enter grandma. The brilliance of this parody style of auditing is that what sort of reminds you of the endearing qualities the characters created by Tyler Perry and Eddie Murphy brought to the artistic appeal of their movies. But even more than that, it makes it very difficult for the police to legitimately spell out a serious claim of a threat to officer or public safety. I mean, how do you articulate that this is a serious threat? I mean, you actually can't. Now, if he took that same costume and acted more aggressively or differently, more threatening, it could definitely be problematic, but he doesn't do that. He acts silly and kind of charming. He baits them with saying things like, well, I have a bag with a little Coke in it, and I have this bag of Mary Jane's, and it's funny, and it's impossible to take seriously. You can even see them losing their composure and laughing at him as they're interacting with him. If you can't take it seriously, psychologically speaking, how can you lodge a serious accusation of threatening behavior? So it's awfully hard to make yourself look reasonable when you arrest someone who presents their intentions so harmlessly. Just a side note, isn't it funny how the script gets flipped when you provide too much discomfort for a cop to deal with? It's crazy how unsuspicious you can become and how quickly they need to get on to doing something else. It's weird how that works. The officers in these videos do try and ID him at certain points during the interactions, but Iowa doesn't have a specific requirement for identifying yourself to law enforcement if you're not driving a car. So the only legal recourse they have is this simple misdemeanor interference charge, but the Iowa appellate courts have pretty much rejected those charges when there's no actual interference and the charge is based solely on a lack of cooperation with the police. So there's not a lot of precedence for charging interference where a person just won't identify themselves. So the style and effectiveness of Grandma's audits earn Flex an A+ as far as I'm concerned. In closing, I just suggest that anyone doing audits on a regular or semi-regular basis consider adding some sort of parody to their game. It's a great way to A, set yourself apart in entertainment value for trying to grow an audience, but B, and more importantly, you can draw attention to the importance of equal protection under the law and make yourself a sympathetic plaintiff should you get arrested. Anyway, that's all for this one, guys. Head over to Flex's channel and tell him I sent you. Leave some comments on this video about what you think of Grandma, and be sure to like and subscribe, and check out the other videos on my channel if you haven't already. Until I see you again, take care, always film your interactions with the police, and keep your evidence to yourself.